You just downloaded the show that was nominated Best Entertainment Podcast of 2013, only to be beaten by The Walking Dead. This is Survivor Talk with D&D. I'm Dwayne.
And I'm David.
And this is our recap show for the premiere of Survivor Cagayan, Hot Girl with a Grudge.
Probably not the best title. There's so many other opportunities for a title, but man, forget the title. I'll just take the premiere. Good gracious.
Right. So, David, look at your show notes. You've got the next thing.
Oh, really? You're jumping right into that? Let's see. In honor of our two law enforcement friends,
yes,
we've had some fun on Twitter today, and they joined us, and it was really fun. And we've decided that we're going to play the donut game.
Yes.
And whenever we mention the names of the hot cop or Team TV, we are going to have to eat a donut.
Yes, and here are my donut holes. There were 48 at lunch, and now there are about maybe 30.
And here's one box. The other box is in. There you go. Now you can see it. The other box is in the kitchen. That box has no chocolate, so Terry can eat from it. This box does have chocolate.
Yeah, you don't look like you have enough.
I have not touched them.
All right.
I have not had one, so they will be delightful for me.
So
plus, I might need them as late as it is.
To help us make sure we don't eat too few donut holes, we have invited Shayna on the podcast. Hello, Shayna.
Hi, guys.
Shayna is our awesome D&D prospect, and if you watch Sons of Anarchy, you know what that means. And she is going to keep track of, it's not like we're going to eat them all at the end of the show, but we get in this big conversation about somebody, and then David will go, "Okay, Dwayne, I know you said his name at least 4 times," and Shayna will go, "Actually, he needs to eat 5 donuts," and then I'll eat 5 donuts. See? So Shayna is ready. David, I love the Despicable Me guy behind you, the little minion.
Do you see what's on top of his head?
A Survivor buff.
It is. It's the Bacall one. It's the old purple one. It's not
Way to
the
go.
beauty
Wait,
one.
do you have a new Survivor buff?
You mean this orange brawn buff on top of my head?
How did you get that? I don't have
one. It came in the mail.
Did you order one?
And down on the bottom, sporting the Probst hat, Davis loaned me his Stitch, who is fashioning that. So I've got a couple guests behind me.
I am jealous. I don't have a Brawn Tribe hat, and I certainly don't want a Brains one.
I don't know how long that buff's going to last.
By the way, Shayna has not watched the show. I don't know why she's agreed to be on the show with us. Shayna, you are just asking for trouble here. Shayna, you realize you will be spoiled. We are going to talk about, Survivor. This
Survivor.
Is a show.
I am aware, and that's okay.
She's going to listen to the Cliff Notes before she reads the book.
She is a true trooper. I'm telling you. All right. Well, hey, before we get into the meat of it, thank you for starting your Amazon shopping using our links on our website, or you can just go to survivortalkwithdnd.com/Amazon. But while you're on our website, lots of stuff to see, 2 blogs a week, plus we have a link to Andy Baker's, not the Dirty Dozen, but the Baker's Dozen. And then, of course, we've already done 6 preseason shows, and they're all on there, and some Shooting the Breeze stuff is on there. But there's links to Amazon. We really appreciate it if you use those links to start your Amazon shopping.
Because we wanted to do a show for every day the premiere would cover. 6 days, 6 shows. Now,
there you go.
Before I tell you about the feedback show, I also want to point out I'm one of those guys that likes to go to one place on the web and find everything. And if you want to find 2 awesome personal recaps from Katya and Shayna, if you want to find Andy's Baker's Dozen, like you just said, and all kinds of other recaps and blogs, go to our Facebook page. It's going to have all of them on there in the next 3 or 4 days. Just go to our Facebook page, join the group, we'll let you in, and then you get all the recaps and blogs there. We're going to post them all because we love sharing that stuff. We love talking Survivor. So join our Facebook group. Also, if you want to get on our feedback show, it's Sunday night. And I'm glad I got the times right. I just talked to Chad online. He was asking about the times. Feedback is due 7 o'clock Sunday night Eastern time. And we will go live maybe at 10 o'clock?
I don't know. Probably earlier.
Maybe earlier. That's even better.
Just watch the Facebook group.
We'll tweet and we'll Facebook that, and let you know when that's in. But really, call it. Go to our website, SurvivorTalkWithDND.com, and you can use that feedback link that we have on there. Leave a nice audio feedback, and you can also email it to us at feedback@SurvivorTalkWithDND.com.
That's right. Yeah, in fact, the new online voicemail is really nice. You get 5 minutes, and it's done right there on your computer. You can listen to it, make sure you like it. If you don't like it, you can redo it. We're looking for someone who wants to sponsor that. If you'd like to sponsor that, it's $12 a month, or you and somebody else want to go in together and sponsor that through a PayPal or whatever. That'd be awesome. But we really like it. I think it's a lot better than the phone line, so let's go with that, or email. I am ready, David. Are you ready?
You would be impressed with my live setup here. I'm at a different station. I'm on a table now. I've got all my notes ready. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, I love your setup. I've still got my Seahawks flag, thanks to Faith, behind me. Of course, I have my Survivor rug back here. I guess it's not a rug; it's a blanket.
It's a blanket. It's a blanket.
And actually, it's a wall hanger now.
It's an awesome wall hanger, is what it is.
And then I have my old Goda tribe buff, the only buff I own, because my buddy didn't buy me.
Another one? Is that what you're saying? Another buff?
A beauty. Well, you didn't even tell me you were buying one, or I would have bought one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We could have bought it with our Survivor Talk money.
You probably can't see them, but I've also got 3 minis up on the top shelf from the Game of Thrones. Terry got those for me tonight when she bought me Thor #2.
Thor number 2.
That's right. That's our Friday night date for me and my buddy.
Thor. Really? I'm going out with my wife on Friday.
My wife is going out with a friend. I told her to take the night out, and Davis and I are going to play Wii U and Thor 2.
What's your wife's friend's name?
Her name
is
Amy,
Andy.
one of her best friends.
So your wife's going out with Andy.
How did we get on this topic? People are going, I thought I skipped this.
Yeah, that's what you get for trying to skip. Don't skip the front. That's half the fun.
That's right.
All right, y'all. Episode 1, initial thoughts. Blindsides are awesome. Especially when the guy blindsided has an idol.
Back at camp.
Shayna's going, who?
Well, I'll tell you, Shayna, with one of my first impressions, that's 2,000 hours and 6 days of Garrett's life he'll never get back.
Yeah. What do you think about that, Shayna?
That's cool. That's cool because he wasn't one of my favorites. He's one for me that could stay or go. Kind of blend in.
Well, he kind of felt the same way. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, you're going to learn more about Garrett in the next hour or so.
So blindsides are awesome, and then that's one of my initial thoughts. And then my other initial thought is, who would have thought you could dump every single bit of rice in the fire and still stay in the game?
I would say next to nobody.
Nobody.
It's a done deal. It's got to be a done deal. It's got to be a what? What? We're not playing the game?
Yeah.
Okay.
Gosh.
Oh my goodness.
Really, the second half of the show, or episode 2 per se, even though it isn't, second half of the show was really good.
Yes.
I mean, that whole tribe dynamic, and I got to tell you, I'm a fan of Cass right now. She's got some awesome comebacks to people. She's got some great lines during this show, and I'm a huge fan of Cass right now. I hope she can stay the line for a little while.
All right, my other initial thought, I was also a fan. I really glad she made it, because a lot of people think she'd be an early out, but it worked in her favor really well. But another one of my initial thoughts is, I think it was Scoopin that I heard it first from, is playing on a 6-person tribe is really difficult.
Oh, yeah.
You have to play right away. You can't hide. And, boy, if I got to ever play and they told me I was on a 6-person tribe, I'd be scared to death for the first 3 to 6 days. That is so difficult. You can't hide. You got to play. Hello, Garrett. You got to play.
Yeah.
So, and my other
I don't want to play Survivor.
I don't even want to be here. This is like work. Manual labor.
Where's the person bringing me chicken and beer?
Chicken and vegetables. That's right. They bring it to me in a comfortable chair. And there's somebody giving me a neck rub, too.
I want to outlive and outplay, but I don't want to play Survivor on Survivor. What an idiot. Now, I'm sorry. I didn't say that.
My other thought was, it's kind of a double thought. One was, you really need to know when to lie and when to tell the truth. I think.
Yes.
I think Tony messed up. and I know that's one.
Oh,
I know.
Tony. Oops, I said it too. That's all right. I can't wait to eat. I can't wait to eat this. I've been looking at this thing for 20 minutes.
All right, well, eat it while I continue talking. I think you messed up with Sarah, in part because she's never going to lose that leader label. Daggone it, I said her name too. She's never going to lose that leader label as long as that tribe is together.
Who is it?
The girl, the hot cop. And you jerk. And
you know what though? She's earned it though. That girl is kicking it.
I know. Good. And once you should see that pretty soon, you gotta get on the same level as her. At least try to. And it looks like next week he does. I just wonder if it's going to be too late.
Yeah.
And
you can already see some, like the two people that are off on their own thing going on.
Right.
And and the guy, Tony, I don't mind eating a donut. Tony, I did it again, needs two of them just waiting to eat.
We're going to be awake for 3 hours.
I'm going to be wait till 4 in the morning. He needs to get his butt away from Trish.
Yes, he needs to see that. There's a group going on, the Love Cliff group that's going on over there, and you don't want to be the sixth person on a six-person tribe joining the Love Cliff group, at least in the beginning. You want to be happy and you want to be in there. Now, at the other point, Cass, I thought, should have lied to Jatia in the beginning when she told her to her face, I want to vote you out. You know, again, it didn't necessarily hurt her at the time because I think she just got a lot of points in the second tribal council.
Right.
However, there's a time to lie, and I think that early in the game you don't.
Yeah.
I think Spencer was playing it really well. He was bouncing to different people and other people. We'll talk about it later, but it's a time to lie and a time to tell the truth, and there's a time to play a better social game. And I think Tony is in danger of segregating himself from the big numbers in the Braun tribe.
Oh, he absolutely is. And to be honest with you, by the way, you can eat how many?
Oh, got it!
How many are you supposed to be eating now?
That's 3.
No, it's probably more than that. No, Shayna says 3. Okay. And Cass, I'm wondering, hello, Cass, where's the lawyer who lies? You know, she kept talking about how honest she was. Where's the lawyer who lies? David can't answer because his face is full of donuts. This is a great game, David. I hope you who are in the crowd are enjoying this as well. Some people on the YouTube group are trying to get us, like Janice wrote, cop, 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 trying to get us to say, you know, the names, trying to get us fat. Whereas Kathy Kathy, one of our friends, is doing everything she can to keep us from eating donut holes. She said we had to chew each donut hole 20 times. Okay, let us move on. This is a 2-hour premiere, and I am wide awake and ready to talk about it. And Shayna can't.
I'm about to be very awake.
Yeah, and Shayna's like chopping at the bit to find out why we're saying all this stuff because she wants to know what happened in the game. So, I did have one more initial thought.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell Spencer is smart because he says tournament instead of tournament. He says tournament. You know, I won this chess tournament. Anyway, by the way, I kind of like Spencer this episode. He knew when to be quiet.
We're going to get to that at the end. I got a question for at the end of all of our notes here.
All right. So, Braun comes in on a truck.
Mm-hmm.
We know all this.
Brain
Brain in a helicopter, average IQ of 130. That's not that high, you know.
I don't know that, so I was going to ask you if you knew.
I guess Garrett probably lowered that. And I sincerely mean that, not just because of how he played in the second half.
He was first in his class. Well, they had a great line. Book smart does not equal survivor smart.
Yeah, he may be valedictorian. Maybe he's just a good test taker.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. But anyway, and then Beauty comes in on a boat, and of course Morgan gives her model look. I'm giving that look right now.
When you have to tell somebody you're trying not to be a certain way,
yes,
you probably are a certain way.
Yes.
I don't mean to say this. I want to say this in love when I say this, okay?
Yeah.
I love you, man.
Yeah.
But I want to say that in love.
Yeah. How many cameramen fought for the front of the boat? I've been here 30 years. I get the front of the boat.
I'm Bob. I'm the cameraman.
All right. And some of the things that were said, Trish said, I would do anything to beat you, which we get a little bit of that from Trish. A little scary Trish. Did she kind of strike you as a little scary sometimes?
Frustrated.
I mean, some of the things she said to the camera, I'm like, okay. She ain't seen me yet.
Oh.
I will kill her.
They won't find that body.
Lindsay, my favorite line. Lindsay, I love you. I love you. I was surprised there wasn't cheesy music with that boat coming. I loved it. Loved that line. Loved it.
They would have had somebody on the beach with a boombox just playing music as they came up on the boat.
Yes, it was like an episode of what was that show with the
Baywatch?
Gosh, I can't talk. Yes, Baywatch. Baywatch on a boat. Yeah, Shayna's like, I can't wait to watch that. All right, and of course Morgan. Of course, okay, here we are. So they all get on the beach, David.
Mm-hmm.
They all get on the beach, and Probst tells them you are divided up into the three aspects that make the game, right? Brains, brawn, and beauty. Mm-hmm. And he asks Morgan. Of course, he acts like he doesn't know her name.
Right.
You with the big eyes.
You who looks like her name should be Morgan. What do you think?
Yes. And she goes, well, obviously, we're beauty.
I don't mean to be conceited, but you know.
I mean, we're except for Bryce here, we are beauty. No, I'm just kidding.
I like LJ's line. I guess I'm the inner beauty one.
Excellent line.
Great line.
Loved it. Very humble. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, even if it is false humility, still, it was great.
Yep.
Because all the women, including Shayna, are going, LJ, I don't know about your inner beauty, but your outer beauty is good.
I would coconut bowl with you any day.
Shayna's going, Then they ask Spencer, and Spencer's like, well, I guess we're the nerds.
Since they took beauty, I guess we got to be the nerds.
Yeah. And then Tony, I gladly accept that. I cannot do a Jersey accent.
I don't know, but you just got another donut, so anyway.
Oh. Well, then you carry on with what he said.
Mr. Team TV says, I gladly accept that. Look at me. Look at my tattoo. Look at these guns. We are Braun. It means because we're going to stomp them, and we're going to stomp them. And all the rest of Braun's going, yeah, tell them. We're not going to say that, but you say that.
Guess what? Braun Tribe stomped everybody this episode.
Second episode, yeah.
Oh, they stomped them in the first one, too.
But they didn't win the challenge.
Are you sure about that?
Not the first one. Beauty won the first one. They won the second challenge.
Yeah, you're right.
But still, they were right behind them, like a puzzle piece behind them.
All right, so then we get the part that, you and I really don't like. Although I am happy to say this whole choosing a leader thing, that Survivor was trying to cause problems in the group.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy to say, and during this episode, this is about the only time we heard about it. The whole rest of the time, there wasn't a lot of, well, I'm the leader, I guess I have to do this. I was really glad about that. It's not really playing a big part in it.
Well, I think it's carrying over with Hot Cop. I think like I said, I don't think she's going to lose that title.
Who?
You know what I'm talking about. Donut Queen.
Sarah.
Yes, there's another one. And I don't think she's going to, I think she's, as long as the Braun tribe is together, I think she's going to have that title. And the fact that she was so, regretful and having to call out a name, later on, I think she's respected about that. And plus the way they came together. But I also think this segment gave us 15 minutes of good drama.
Yes.
And it also raised my my ranking of one player and lowered my ranking of another player. So we'll get to that when we cover who they were.
Oh, okay. Well, I was going to say, even though Sarah was picked the leader and she picked Trish as the weakest, it's not like the rest of the show we kept hearing people go, okay, well, you're the leader, so what do we do?
Right. You're right.
And then Trish and her handled it really well. So, but anyways, so let's get to
who she qualified it. But go ahead, yeah.
Why don't you go ahead and do that since I have to eat another donut since I said
actually it's two. But anyway,
is it two, Shayna? No, because I've already eaten one for the other one.
She's nodding yes.
I already ate one for the other one.
Excuse me, it's my turn. I loved how he asked the beauty tribe first, and you could almost see the whole tribe turn towards LJ.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody wanted to say it, but Bryce, who to me stock went up throughout this premiere.
Yes, exactly.
I liked how he played. He played it very smartly, and I like he just spoke up and said, "Hey, brother, you know, nobody knew the outcome of the situation. You might need another box. Nobody knew what the other half of this was going to be. So they were okay with picking a leader, and Bryce had no problem standing up, and he complimented him. You know, how about you, brother? And he says, oh, you know, LJ says, okay, I'll do it, not a problem.
But I still love his line, I must be the inner beauty of the group.
Yeah.
I mean, great. I just think it's great. But, you know, you and I said before the season started, they're all going to look at LJ.
Yeah.
You know, and they did.
And then they go to the Braun tribe,
mm-hmm.
and I was really wondering about this. It's almost like none of them wanted to do it, but all of them really secretly wanted to do it.
Right.
I think each of them would have been happy to do it, not if if they didn't know about the other part, the other shoe falling.
Right. Right.
So, and then Hot Cop, you know, says, hey, I don't mind talking, because she's already thinking this leader's going to have to do something. This title isn't for nothing. The leader's going to have to either step off the mat, go do a challenge, or go do something. I don't mind talking. I don't mind representing. I'll do it.
I don't think she minds being the leader at all. I mean, she's a natural leader, you can tell. And I don't think she has a problem. By the way, I think you should have to eat a half a donut for calling her Hot Cop. Don't you, Shayna?
No.
Hold on. Shayna's going to... Oh, Shayna's saying no.
That's being nitpicky.
Where's the love? Thanks a lot, Shayna.
But
all right.
Actually, because I think there's like 3 or 4 people that could be leaders on that tribe. You know, it's got some, what do you call them, alpha people? You know, people that could be leaders. So, and then we turn. Oh, go ahead.
No, that's all right. Go ahead.
Then we turn to Brains.
Yeah. Oh, gosh,
and it was so cool how the tribe was actually almost in a circle around David.
Yes.
He's standing right in the middle with a big smile on his face. Hey, I've got the blazer on.
He's like, pick me.
I'm here. And he even says, Andy said it. Andy mentioned the blazer when we talked to Andy.
Yes.
And he goes, is it the blazer?
Is it the blazer? It's like Andy knew.
Yes.
Andy.
Mm-hmm.
No, we know he didn't know, but still.
He called it. I'll give him that.
I love it. Cass is like, I don't trust a guy with a suit, and then David immediately thinking to himself, this is not a suit. I have got to have an opportunity to tell them this.
My pants do not match. I know what a suit is.
Technically, this is not a suit. The blazer does not match the pants.
So Cass is saying, when I'm in court, I don't trust any man that's on the other side of the table.
Yeah. She didn't say court, but yeah.
Well, she said any man in a suit. That's usually the other lawyer.
Yeah.
So then we go to the flip side when Probe says, all right, now you leaders, which is unfair to Beauty. He should have gone backwards. Now you leaders have to pick the weakest member of your tribe.
Well, I'll tell you what I think was unfair was that he did groups one at a time because it gave the other groups time to think. I really think he should have just said, okay, y'all have, 30 seconds. Be ready with your answer, and had them all do it at the same time.
I would, if he was just putting it on the leader, I'd have given him 10 at the most.
Yeah.
But
he didn't, so he picked.
I liked LJ's reasoning. If I have to pick somebody, he picked somebody to actually separate them from the group.
Right.
He thought the Alexis and Jeffra were more the cute beauty, whereas Morgan was more the hot beauty and could be less trusting.
Yeah.
More
I trust cute more than I trust hot was what.
Which he was right to assess.
Yes.
I think. And so he went with Morgan, which she, first time for everything where I got picked to be the weakest.
First time for everything, a guy doesn't want me around.
Yeah, really.
Is basically what she was saying. Of course, Probst is trying to milk this for all he can.
Right. Oh, yeah. And then the Braun tribe, Sarah made the good speech, the good leader speech of, daggone it. Sarah made the good leader speech.
It's too.
The Braun leader made the good leader speech of saying, I'm already connected with all these people. I get good vibes from all of these people. I hate to do it. And Trish even quantified it later by saying, I can see it because I was the oldest.
Right.
I could see I'm the older lady of the group, and that happens in Survivor. Trish knows what happens. So
even though they don't know exactly what's going to happen, right, David just totally approached this wrong. And I know we're not talking about him yet, but the other two approached it correctly. Okay, this is what you're asking me to do. I don't know what the result of this is going to be, but I'm not going to try and play any silly games. I'm just going to say, okay, well, if I have to pick one, then this is the person. And both of those people, I mean, even Morgan, maybe she doesn't want to admit it, but she can at least justify in her mind why LJ would have picked her, right? And we know Trish can justify in her mind why she was picked. So, I don't have a problem with that. One thing I do want to say is they had no idea. That they probably thought, okay, either they're going to switch tribes on us, or they're going to send these people home, or these people are going to be their own third tribe, or these people automatically go to Redemption Island or something like that. There's no telling. There's just a myriad of things that could have happened to these weakest players. So
I think you're making a great point. It's probably one of the better points we're going to have tonight, and the fact that both LJ did something that he wanted to solidify his tribe with, push out the person he trusted the least.
Right.
Sarah did. Oh, God, did the.
It's all right. Just go along with it, and we'll tally it up in a minute.
She did the. What she didn't want to do, and she kept saying that I don't want to do this,
right.
But going with the person that could be the weakest, and then
you have David.
And then you have David, who's looking out for David,
yes.
Not the Brains tribe, but David at the end game.
Yes.
Not even
looking
the start.
at day 39.
Yes, I'm thinking about day 39.
The strongest person.
Just so y'all know, I'm going to be here for day 39. I'm
yes.
going to get rid of this behemoth who's going to pull all of our carts and all of our challenges. I'm just thinking about the end. I'm not worried about the next 6 days, because who knows what could happen the next 6 days.
So he picks
that's a great
Garrett.
point. He's thinking about the end. You got to start at the beginning of the game. You can't jump right to the end.
And Jatia makes a very good point later on in the game. Is you can't be thinking about day 39 right now. You got to be thinking about the first part of the game. And so David made a big mistake, because there's no way to justify that other than I'm playing for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Which everybody knows you're playing for yourself, but you don't broadcast it.
Right. Exactly,
and
I think
make stupid moves like that.
He missed the obvious separation in guys and girls as well. Why get rid of one of your own when it's a logical alliance for the guys to get together, whether they're age similar or not, height similar or size similar. But it's a logical Survivor thing for guys to get together and girls to get together.
Right.
But I think he made a big mistake, and he'll pay for it later.
And I like and one of the many things Spencer said tonight that I liked. And he was like, that was stupid, David. That was stupid.
Exactly.
All right, so then Probe says, if this had been tribal council, they're all going, but it's not. Anyway, so they're not out of the game or the tribe. They get to go to camp early, and he tells everybody they get to make a decision on behalf of the tribe.
Yes, behalf of the people that just voted you out.
Right. He doesn't say what the decision is, so
I
no
love
one
that.
knows.
Love that.
But they all know there was a decision made.
That's right. More strife, trying to add more controversy to it.
Right. So he gives the maps while the helicopter flies off. And so let's go to the weakest players back at camp, at their new camp. So first we have Garrett.
Right.
So astute. He realizes David's trying to get him out. Basically says, I want David out of the game. But before that, he doesn't even get through the paper, through the decision before he says, heck no, I'm getting the idol.
Before he starts walking down the path.
Yeah.
For the idol.
He's like, you can either help yourself or help your tribe. And he goes, well, I ain't helping the tribe.
No thought whatsoever.
Yeah, which I probably wouldn't have done either. I would have figured I had about at least an hour or two for them to get to the camp.
Yeah.
So you have at least an hour to look for the idol. And then an hour to figure out what you're going to tell them. And maybe start working on I don't know. But anyway, so he goes and picks the idol clue. And did he say he was valedictorian of his class?
Yes. Yes,
Was
he did.
it like, okay.
Oh, yeah.
He goes all in, go with the poker thing,
I think it was at this point, if it wasn't sooner, like on the helicopter, when he realized, man, I wish I was on the Braun tribe.
Yeah.
Looking around and seeing he's the biggest one, and he's like, I mean, I was valedictorian and everything, so I do have brains, but I kind of wish I was on a different tribe.
Yeah. Hey, David, would you adjust your camera so you're a little higher on the screen? Because you're kind of like you're like this. You're like Kilroy. Kilroy! All right. Anyway, so then we have Trish. I was not surprised at all by her choice.
I wasn't either.
No,
I wasn't surprised that she debated for a while either.
Right. She said, I'm so not selfish, but maybe I need to be. But then, of course, she picks the rice, which is great because she gets to tell the whole tribe, hey, I picked the rice.
Exactly. What a bonding moment that was later on when the tribe showed up.
Right.
That was awesome.
And I'm glad that at least one of the weakest players picked the rice, because this is bound to come up later.
Yes.
And to bite, well, it won't bite Garrett in the butt because he's gone.
Yeah, exactly.
But it might bite Morgan in the butt.
Yep.
Cute butt that it is. Anyway, she chooses the idol. Do you have anything else about Trish?
Nope.
Okay. She chooses the idol. Morgan does. And, of course, I'll never forgive him for that, she says.
Nope.
He must have felt threatened by my looks.
Men usually do.
She actually said that. He must have looked at me and thought, ooh, she's hot. Which he did.
Which is exactly what he did. So she's right. She's exactly right.
But still.
Well, if she's been through that a lot in her life,
he was threatened by how amazing looking I am.
That's right.
So anyway, so she chooses the idol, and she looks for it, but to no avail.
Right.
So it's probably right there.
Right. But as she's looking, she noticed that apparently she took too long.
Yeah. How many times did you watch that scene, David?
I don't know what you're talking about. But anyway, the tribe shows up. And I say, all right.
You mean the podcast? The tribe?
The rest of the tribe shows up. The rest of her beauty tribe shows up. Yes. And I'm thinking, all right, this is where we see how much of a Survivor player you can be.
Yes.
You can be. Who's going to tell the best story? Because you cannot be honest unless you're Trish. Trish can be honest, and it worked. Morgan comes back and says, hey, do y'all like what I chose? Immediately. Doesn't even give them a real chance to answer because they're looking. They're saying, wonder what decision she had to make. Do you like the fishing gear, the shelter stuff? And I'm thinking, that's brilliant.
Yes. Very good, Morgan. Smart. She said, I chose rice, shelter stuff, and fishing.
She was upbeat. She was okay. Yeah. She got like a partial hug from LJ, and everything was okay for now.
Yeah, and I don't know how to build a shelter, so I just went over there and chilled out in the water for the cameramen.
Exactly. They asked me to go over there and say how I felt about being weak, and
they asked me to keep reaching up. I'm not sure, and they kept wanting me to bend over and look at stuff, and I'm not sure why.
Anyway, then as we move on, I should make you eat a donut for that. On the flip side, we have the poker player, the bluffer, the mastermind, the brain, who comes back and knows that he has to have some sort of story.
Right.
And for the life of me, I don't remember him saying any kind of a story other than something about shelter. And I said, buddy, you just really blew that, because I guarantee you, each one of these tribes on the way there, all they did was think about what their decision they're making.
Right.
And several of them even mentioned, I think it was Spencer that mentioned, there's an idol involved here. He even mentions later there was no idol clue. Fans like Spencer are thinking about idols.
That's right.
And the more you think about something, the longer it takes you to get to your place where you're walking to, the more ingrained it is in your head that you're right. And there's an idol involved. Right. And if he talks about, I got some shelter parts, and so what do y'all want to do? That's it? That was the big decision for the premiere episode?
Yeah. So he does find the idol, though. Good job.
Yes, he did. Down in the water. I was impressed.
He found it. Now, I will say, for all the guys that liked watching Morgan search for the idol, if you cut Garrett off from the neck and just look, is there any fat on him at all?
2,000 hours would say no.
No, there is not. That guy's got to have like 2% body fat. He's got muscles in places I didn't know people had muscles.
But take it as a lesson. How was he doing 3 to 6 days later?
Well, I don't know. But Shayna just left us to go watch the episode. I'm not sure.
He was physically not doing well at all. He even talks about it. But now, back at the beauty tribe, LJ...
Well, hold on. Garrett talks about he's going to do everything he can to get rid of David. Okay.
Right. Okay.
Give him his due. He did say something smart.
Yes. Well, I'm not sure that was the smartest move at the time. But anyway, he talks about getting revenge, yes. So, hot guy with a grudge. You could have called it that. Whatever. LJ guesses that... Morgan got a clue, and he's right. She was too calm and cool when they showed up.
Right.
So he picked up on that, and even though I thought she did a great job, I think she did fool several people. Yeah. But Bryce reaches out to Morgan right away. I think this is brilliant because Bryce walked with 4 of the people all the way to the camp.
Yeah.
They had to have talked and bonded, got to know each other, and as soon as he gets there, who reaches out to the one person that's kind of on the outs? Bryce.
Bryce does. Bryce talks to Morgan.
Makes contact, makes a relationship, and boom, that's how you start playing Survivor.
Yeah. Now LJ also had the show title.
Yes. Yes, he did.
He said Morgan is a hot girl with a grudge.
So do you recall who are you going to give credit to for making the first fire? Because that's going to come up in our challenge. Because Jeremiah was blowing on it. LJ was holding it and putting it and doing the stick on it. Because you've got LJ and I got LJ and you've got Jeremiah.
No, remember we said whoever actually causes the spark. Whoever was blowing on it or whoever was doing whoever actually, we'll let Shayna decide.
I figured you'd have a reason for that. No, I think you did say that. So.
Yeah. So Alexis says something that will play out later in the show. They're not expecting anything from us because we are the beauty tribe.
Right.
But heck, they started a fire. They built a shelter. They're doing great.
Yeah.
I mean, the beauty tribe starts a fire. Way to go.
Exactly. I was impressed right away. I mean, that was like the first thing they did.
Yeah. And then Jeff was like, I'm loving my tribe. I love it. All right, Braun, day one. They come to camp. You know, we've talked about Beauty coming to camp. We've talked about Brains coming to camp. Now Braun comes to camp, and Trish just immediately embraces Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
The embrace of love. And she tells him, I went for the rice. And they all freak out, and they're so happy.
Yep. They're so happy that the first thing to do is divide up and go right to chores. Go right to work.
And Tony goes, "Good, that's a good thing to do. But if it had been me, there would be no rice. I'd have the idle clue."
That's right. Who said that?
Tony. I get two of them.
Two. I love the next scene while you're eating your 2 donuts, where Cliff and Wu and the guy you just talked about are working together, cutting up bamboo, and immediately Cliff's height comes into question. So what do you do for a living, Mr. 6'10"? Well, I'm in sports marketing. You should be playing
about 2 seconds.
Yeah, I should be playing basketball. And so I played a little bit of basketball, and I love Wu. Well, I'm not going to lie to you, man. I've got some of your cards.
Yeah.
Probably from every team you played for. I love that.
Awesome.
Wu's like, sorry, man, but I'm calling you out right now. But I'm glad you're on our trial. I love playing with Cliff Robertson, but I got your cards. I love that.
And Tony's sitting there going, who? Played what? What is basketball? Yes, I know. I got to eat another one.
Oh, that was hilarious. I don't really care who played basketball. I don't care what they did.
Mm-hmm.
All I care is about Survivor, playing Survivor.
Yep. And Cliff says, sorry, I'm eating, but... Cliff says, wow, they're not really bothered by me being a basketball player. They all think it's cool. And it turns out this tribe is a bunch of Cliff lovers.
Yes, this is the Cliff troop.
Except for 2.
Yes, except for 2.
All right. So, okay, here it comes. David, why don't you talk about this next part?
About the donut conversation?
Yes. The one where this whole box is going to be emptied very quickly.
This is this is where I think he messed up. I think when the Braun tribe leader went to him, Sarah, and went to him and flat. I wanted to ask her, what did you see? Because I guess when you work with a certain type of people every day, all day, you see traits that you can pick out of other people. Right. You know, when you work with that many police officers, you're going to pick out traits and stuff of what they know. And she just says she knows, and she knows, and she knows, and she knows, and he had a chance. And especially when she said, I'm a police officer. I just feel that about you. I wish he'd have said, well, look, I'll be honest with you. I was scared. And what he said was exactly right. I was afraid that people were going to call me tactical and strategic and be worried about me and be a threat. But you're being honest with me, so I got to be honest with you and tell you. I mean, this is, I hate to say it, but this is almost David-like. He's playing too much for himself and not playing as a tribe member right now. So that worries me.
He was sticking to his plan too much, and you have to be flexible.
Right.
Right?
Exactly.
And he wasn't flexible. As soon as she said, you've got to be a cop, he should have acknowledged it, because what he ended up doing was alienating himself, because she knows something's wrong.
And she doesn't trust him at all now.
Because she usually trusts her gut feeling. Mm-hmm. And so for him to say, no, I'm not, I mean, this was part of him not being in the group of 4, because he's kind of doing stuff on his own, hanging out with Trish now, and if he would have just bonded right there with the hot cop, things would have been so much different.
Not only the hot cop, but the elected leader of the tribe. I mean, of all people, she's very likable. She gets along with everybody. She even said, I get good vibes from everybody. Right. Why would you want to lie to that person? Right. Why wouldn't you want to bond? What a better bonding tool than to be another police officer?
Right.
I don't know. I hope it works out next week when he tells her, but I just don't have a good feeling about that.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it is, because at least the edit they gave for next week when he tells her, she's like totally shocked. But that doesn't make sense, because she wouldn't be shocked. That must be something else that she does that reaction.
I wonder if she's shocked that he misled her for so long.
I don't think she'd be shocked about that either.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go to Brains Day. I can't believe we actually made it through that without having to eat donuts. Because I want donuts, Sarah and Tony are the people we were talking about. So I'll be eating these in just a second. So, all right, Brains Day 1, we get a group hug. Spencer thinks David is an idiot.
Oh, wait a minute, we skipped. Okay, well, we already talked about the Brains coming back to camp, but as actually in chronological order, the Brains come back to camp after the Brawn did. Are you on that section right now?
I'm where Jatia has an idea for the shelter.
Okay, that's where they come.
Yeah, then I wrote, what did he say his choice was? Because I don't remember.
Right, that's what I mentioned real quick before, that he started to say something about shelter, but he didn't really get anything out, and I think he either changed the subject or somebody else changed the subject, and it was just not believable. And I'm just wondering how many people caught his hesitancy in when he said what he said.
Right. Okay, so Jatia has an idea for a shelter. And her idea is, I'm going to sit here and tell y'all what to do, and y'all do it all. That's not a good idea for a shelter.
Has she watched Survivor before?
Yeah.
If you're on a tribe of 9, you could almost get away with that because you're going to be so busy organizing and telling different people suggestions.
Right.
But if you're on a tribe of 6 and there's only 5 people working, and the biggest guy doesn't like manual labor, you're going to stick out like a sore thumb when you sit down, because everybody saw it.
Yes.
And to be a good leader, you don't want to be a dictator on Survivor. You want to be a leader by example.
Yes.
The best leaders by example do the work with the other people, especially when there's only 6 of you.
I love it. She's sitting there telling everybody what to do, and then you get a picture of Cass sawing. Just to prove the point.
I like the looks. All right, I need another one like this. You go get it. You go get it. So, I mean, and then, well, that's Garrett's job. He's the brawn. He goes and gets most of the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But she has a shelter plan, becomes bossy, and right away, Cass and David start talking about Jatia. She's a possible person that they wouldn't mind not being around anymore because of the way she's acting. But they get the first segment of the shelter ready, and Tasha plans to test it, and it fails miserably.
Yes. Poor Tasha. She has to be. I mean, you don't want to be the one that breaks the chair. I don't care if the chair is completely broken. You don't want to be the guy that sits in it when it breaks. Poor Tasha.
Yeah, and then we get a Cass quote. We're not very smart for the Brains tribe.
Right. Let's see. Spencer said about Jatia, she ain't all there. All right. And Cass tried to tell her that it wasn't going to work. All right, so I love the way they ended it, just like you said, not too smart for the Brains tribe, which is basically the whole theme of this first premiere episode.
Right.
So, all right, challenge, which is day 3, so we didn't get to see any of day 2.
No, and the first hint we got it was day 3 was when Probst talked about being 72 hours later.
Yeah, I think he said that like 3 times.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And my first thought when I saw this, they always do that overhead look.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, oh, this is going to be good.
I love these types of challenges.
Yeah.
Full team cooperation challenges.
Yeah. So they're playing for immunity. First 2 tribes win immunity. Third one goes to tribal council. First tribe gets a fire-making kit with, like, kindling and everything.
And the beauty tribe's like, yeah, we got fire, but we'll take it.
Can we get, like, some lotion instead? Second place gets flint, and third place gets nothing but tribal council, which means they'll still get flint eventually. Right. So he should have said, you'll get flint in the form of tribal council.
That's right.
That's what he should have said.
Sacrifice a body.
Yep. All right, best move of the whole thing, having Cliff get the key.
without using the ladder.
I mean, the guy didn't even. Yeah, he just stood there and grabbed the key.
He did use the ladder a little, but that was yes. But you know who impressed? Bryce. Bryce was flipping the keys off faster than anybody.
Little Bryce.
Got him the lead.
Yep. So Braun Tribe gets a big lead. Last place are the Brains so far.
Yes.
Disaster for the Brains Tribe. Puzzle pieces everywhere. And as I'm writing that, I hear, another disaster.
Yes.
Brains Tribe are not working well together, and yet they're supposed to be smart.
Here we go.
This is why Probst wanted to do this.
Exactly.
If the Braun Tribe had been behind, it would have been like, the Braun Tribe, who should be able to excel in the first part of the thing, can't do it.
Now, is this his way of saying that casting's been right all these years, casting all these beautiful people and not necessarily the smartest people in the world?
Yeah, I don't know. What would he have said about the Beauty Tribe if they were falling behind? They're too busy looking at themselves.
They're in last place, but they look good there.
Yes. Morgan was right.
Nobody's looked so good in last place. I think it was the team thing in the sense that once they got behind, then frustration and urgency set in, and they're forgetting about chains, they're forgetting about working together. It's a working together thing. It sounded like, I know it's the edit, but it sounded like Braun was just talking like this to each other. Okay,
yes.
I got this, let's move this, let's do this, let's do this. And I couldn't help thinking as they were lifting those crates to the top section of that little maze, who's lifting for the Brains? Who's helping Garrett lift those crates for the Brains? Because I see Tony getting one by himself. Oh, there's one. And I see Cliff standing up high, pushing it through. I see LJ and Jeremiah lifting up together and pushing them through.
Right.
Who's lifting them for the Brains? Can they do one puzzle piece at a time? Can they just throw each piece through the maze?
Yes. By the way, Janice, who's watching us on YouTube and commenting, made the comment about the rewards that we were talking about, that all the previous survivors on Twitter are talking about what awesome supplies these were. That these were like really good supplies. So we have the Braun. A good idea, Braun. They put the puzzle together on the ground first.
That's
so much easier. Yes. So, and let's see. So it was
Sarah and Lindsay.
All right, that's one. And then we get Probst again. One of the worst performances out of the gate in the history of Survivor. Talking about Brains.
Have you figured out that I'm talking about you yet?
You know who I sound like when I say that?
Who?
The guy on that cartoon spoof of Survivor.
Oh.
What's that called?
Can't answer that. Yeah.
It's hilarious. And that's who I sound like. All right, so Braun and Beauty neck and neck, and I wrote in all capital letters, I so love this show. I was so enjoying myself. It was just so much fun watching tonight.
It was fun watching people get those puzzle pieces and put them together first.
Yes.
And just do it as quick as possible. Don't just start piecing pieces in the puzzle. Put it together first. I love that. That was brilliant.
And I love the fact that, and I don't mind returning players too much, but I really love the fact that I didn't have that distraction, that it was all new players, everybody's fresh and new, everybody has equal ground. I absolutely love that about this show tonight.
Well, it was at the end of this challenge that I thought, I was excited about One World being all new players, but I am much more excited about this cast than I was the One World cast of people that can possibly play well and do well late in the game and not be run over by one player.
Right. So you got Sarah and Lindsay doing the puzzle. You got LJ and Alexis doing the puzzle. Yes, I see that. Got my donut hole ready. And Beauty wins and Braun gets second. Way to go.
By like 2 pieces right behind them.
So Beauty grabs the fire-making kit and goes, anybody else want this? Not really, Shayna. They didn't really do that. They thought it, but they didn't do it.
We'd like to sell this for a bag of rice.
Yeah. Hey, look, we can make a mini shelter for the mice. With all the wood.
Or a trap for the snakes, because there seems to be a snake in every other tree. Terry would never make it. I don't know if she can make it through this season with all the snakes on this show.
All right, anything else before we go to Brains Day 3?
Well, I know I said it was a full team effort challenge, even though the end only had 2 people. Still, it was a great challenge. I love teamwork challenges. It was 90% teamwork, and the rest was a puzzle. But I love that.
All right, so Brains, day 3. Jatia's talking. I don't know what she said. I didn't write it down.
I did.
Okay, go.
Or
you did?
Nope, I didn't, because I wrote down something she said later on.
All right. Tasha and Spencer are like, look, we can't keep saying that we're better than everybody, you know. Right. So I kind of get the feeling that the first 3 days they were kind of bragging about how they're going to be better than everybody, and then they got, you know, really put in their place.
Mm-hmm.
The worst start ever out of the gate in Survivor history, you know.
Yep.
So, and then Cass says to David, no execution, and I'm thinking to myself, no, Cass, don't hang around David. Please, Cass, don't hang around David.
Now what? Oh, right, because of his bad decision in the beginning.
Yeah, well, plus, as soon as she goes and hangs around David, I'm thinking, uh-oh, that means Tasha, Jatia, Spencer, and Garrett are all hanging around together, and y'all 2 are going to be the 2 odd people out, because Garrett doesn't like David.
The 4 younger players are hanging together, and the 2 older players are hanging together, and in a group of 6, if you break off in 2, you're leaving the numbers behind.
Yeah. So, anyway, so David wants Garrett out, and Cass wants Jatia out.
Mm-hmm.
So, and let's see, Cass says, another one of her good lines, he's a workhorse and she's dead weight.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, she's proven that. Yeah, I just wrote the groupings. They did it real fast. It seemed like the edit was. And then Tasha and Garrett and Jatia were talking about David. And definitely Garrett is behind, like you said, getting David out. But Spencer was in favor of Jatia.
Right. Now, okay, so Cass and Jatia are in the field together, and Jatia approaches Cass. Obviously, Cass just comes right out and goes, well, I want you out, which probably wasn't the smartest move. So what do you think she should have done when Jatia says, so what are you thinking, anybody but... I mean, basically, Jatia says, so what are you thinking, anybody but you? And Cass goes, no, actually, you. So what should she have done, Cass, since you're listening?
I think what Cass should have done was, I don't want anybody from this tribe to go home. I want to keep working together as a group. I can't think, you know, I know we have to come up with a name, but I haven't come up with a name yet. Are you thinking of anybody? Do you already have anybody on your mind?
Exactly.
Get them to say the name first.
Yes. I like you bossing me around.
Yes. The way you do nothing, it's just a great example of leadership.
Yes. I love the way you lead.
I've never seen anything like it.
Exactly. But the point is, you don't show your hand like that to the person you want out.
Right.
So you're absolutely right in what you said. You don't need to hear me say it again. So,
amen.
Good job, man. Garrett approaches. Let's see, who does he approach? And he says, let's get off David. I don't know who he approaches.
Tasha and Jatia.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He approaches them and says, let's get off David. Of course, Jatia's sitting there going, she's about to fall her head off. You know, she can't even think about what Garrett's saying. She's so upset.
Right.
So I wrote,
especially before you go on, Cass only gave, if the timing was right, Cass only gave Jatia time to go back to the 3 other people that she'd been sitting with.
Right.
You know, don't let the person know so soon that they got time to go tell the other people that could sway the whole vote in a different way.
Yeah. So there's a foursome starting: Tasha, Jatia, Garrett, and Spencer.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, Tasha, Jatia, Garrett, and Spencer. 3 from Team Dwaine, by the way.
Okay.
And not that it matters.
Yeah. By the way, it was your number 2 and my number 2.
So Spencer smartly, again, yet another impressive thing by Spencer, wondering about the idol. Of course, he's talking to the wrong person about it.
Yeah. Or is he trying to get a response? Is he trying to get a reaction?
No, because see, I still think he's in tight with Garrett right now. I don't think. In fact, he's tight with Garrett all the way through the end.
Right, until they both get blindsided.
Yes. So let's see. Spencer wondering about idol, but Garrett smartly is not telling about his idol.
Right.
Unsmartly, he's keeping it at camp, but we'll get to that later.
Yes.
So, all right, let's go to Tribal Council. The Brains are going to Tribal Council. This is the first Tribal Council.
Right.
And the first thing we get is Garrett, kind of dancing around like a girl. because of, not that all girls would do that. No, I just got in trouble.
Yes, you did.
Shayna's like, what? What'd you say? There was a spider walking on him,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like, mm-mm, and he got up and killed the spider, and Probst is just laughing like, what are you doing? You've been out here for 3 days, and you can't handle a spider?
Have you seen the snakes? You have not seen the snakes?
Yes.
You're jumping at spiders.
So, and Garrett's thinking to himself, when I sit down to play poker, I don't have to deal with spiders.
I've got chicken and vegetables, no spiders.
Right. So, and then Jatia, because Jatia is a fan of the game, she thinks that Probst watches the dailies.
Mm-hmm.
And so she says to Probst, I knew you'd want to talk to me because people want me off. And Probst is trying to act like he doesn't know people want her off.
Oh, well, let's just open it up. Jatia. Tell me what you're thinking.
No, I didn't know that at all, Jatia. I haven't been in the back watching dailies at all.
As he puts his note cards behind him.
Yes. So now, to give Jatia some credit, she owns up to the fact that her, plan for a shelter was a complete disaster.
She owns up so long as she's the one talking about it. But if somebody else brings it up, then she's got a problem with that.
Yeah. So David, he says to David, so you picked Garrett, and David again talks about, well, this is a game, and I got to look at, what's going to happen, and I don't want to play against him. Basically, is what he said.
Right. So. I like Spencer's line, and you probably got it written down where it says it comes down. It's about who you can trust.
Mm-hmm.
Because I got to trust so many people to get me to the end so that I can win, and that's what it's about. You can't take people that you're not going to trust.
Right.
You got to remove the people, and besides the fact. Spencer, I think, is looking and saying, you know what? I'm in the numbers.
Yeah.
Those 3 people want David gone. I'm not going to tie that. I'm going to go with them and get rid of David.
Right.
So the person he's closest with is against against David. So he's got to go with the person that he trusts.
I also like what Jatia said. You can't think about the last 2/3 of the game. You got to be thinking of the beginning of the game. And so Probst says to her, so if not you, then who should go? She's like, well, David. David really didn't know how to handle this. He fumbled around on that answer.
I know he didn't. He was pretty much caught off at that point.
Boy, was there not a lot of rain and a lot of thunder at this thing?
A whole lot.
Yes.
That was pretty wild.
All right, so Shayna, come online for a second. We want to ask you who you think went home during the first tribal council.
Garrett.
Well, no, Garrett goes home second tribal council.
Oh.
So David or Jatia, which one do you think went home?
I'm going with Jatia.
Sorry, it was David. Yeah, it was David. I'm sorry. So it was David. So David, they vote Jatia, David, Jatia, David, David. David voted off first, and I wrote not good for Cass. David and Cass were both kind of blindsided.
Yep.
So. All right.
And
by the way,
that's the problem with small-sided tribes.
Yes.
One person's going to be on their own right away.
Well, okay. I don't know if it's a problem. It's just a side effect of it, or it's a outcome of it.
Well, it is, but it puts them at an immediate disadvantage in the sense that if you're in a bigger tribe, you can start working on more people.
Yeah. Well,
but in a smaller tribe, you're limited on who you can work with.
Okay. But you know what? Cass may be at the bottom now, but she ain't at the bottom in about an hour.
We're just at tribal council. I'm not going further yet. We're still tribal council.
I can't wait to tell what she said to Spencer at the end of the last tribal council. That was awesome. Shayna's going, what? I want to know now. All right. By the way, it is time to get fire in the form of flint. And believe me, the brains need it.
Oh, yeah.
And David says, I have no regrets and no hard feelings. I'm going to go enjoy my vacation in the Bahamas for the next 30 days.
I was going to say, well, what did he say as soon as the last vote was read? He stood up and said, unbelievable.
Yes.
I left my team in the middle of baseball season to come out here to lose on 3 days. Yeah. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. And they would not have allowed him to have outside access.
No.
So he wasn't he had to have his team covered. He couldn't let them know he was voted out early. All right, so day 4, we go back to Brains. This is basically the beginning of the second half.
I love Jatia's comment, the edit that we got. Does anybody have any suggestions for the fire? Because I'm not throwing out any more plans to build or start anything.
Yeah, and Garrett's just sitting there going, you know what? I don't care.
I know. I mean, this is day 4, and
this is quitter talk, my friends.
This is not fun.
Yes.
I'm not enjoying this. I'm like, dude, there are thousands upon almost tens of thousands of people that would be having a blast to be on a losing tribe, and you're sitting there saying, I'm not having fun.
Andy Baker hit the TV with the donuts he was going to eat during the show tonight. He hit the TV with them, and his TV has glaze all over it because Garrett actually says, I'm not having fun. I don't want to play Survivor to survive in the wilderness.
I thought we'd have tables with chicken and vegetables. I didn't realize we'd be out here in the woods. You know, I'm like, what would you do with those 2,000 hours? Did you not see the?
And you know what? The whole second half of this show, not the whole thing, but the theme is Garrett doesn't want to play Survivor. That's the theme. And I love the fact, and I know we get to it later, but I love the fact that Tasha is so frustrated. She's like, I want to play Survivor, and I got this jerk on my team who just wants to sit around and not play.
Right.
It's just, I love it. I love it. I love it. So, Spencer says Cass was arguing with Tasha. Now, we didn't see this in the Tribal Council, but Spencer says that last night's Tribal Council, there was a lot of arguing going on. Apparently, Cass was arguing with Tasha a lot.
Yeah. So they pick out Cass to join them instead of Shatia and Tasha. So Garrett and Spencer go back to Cass and go to make a weird handshake alignment. They didn't quite get the handshake thing right.
Yeah.
But then Cass is it's almost a jinx thing sometimes when you call yourself the swing vote, but Cass says, hey, I'm number 3 on either side, and I'm not locked into anybody. I was on the outs last Tribal Council, and now I'm a possible most valuable player.
Well, she says, I was blindsided, but now I'm number 3 for somebody.
Right.
Which is a good place to be in.
Yeah, it definitely is.
I mean, and she certainly used it to her advantage, despite what Shatia did.
Yeah, and that's the great thing about Survivor. One night, you're the next to go. The next morning, you're the swing vote to decide what other 2 people go.
Right. So let's move to bronze because I'm hungry.
Okay.
For some more donuts. And day 4, Cliff and Woo on a boat. And it's just so funny. Cliff's like, so I guarantee he's never been on a boat with a paddle. So the guy's what, 50-something years old, doesn't know how to turn a boat.
How do we get back to shore?
How do we turn the boat again? And Woo's like, you turn on the right to go left, left to go right. Anyway, it was pretty funny.
Woo's like, I'm just here to row. You're here to get in the water, reach down, grab the fish, and bring them back up.
Yeah. And then Cliff said, Jordan had, who did he say he had?
Yeah, Jordan had Pippin.
And Cliff's got Woo.
Cliff's got Woo. He's my Robin to my Batman.
Woo is my wingman, he said. So anyway.
And we got to get out of here and we got to take care of business.
Yeah. Let's tip the boat. How do you tip one of those boats?
Balance. Well, what you do is you get a guy that's 6'10", as big as he is.
Yes.
And I had to go back and watch it because I saw it happening and I didn't quite catch it. And I told Gracie, I said, rewind that. I want to see who causes the flip.
Yeah.
And Woo is sitting forward and turning sideways, but Cliff is doing something. Like I said, that's an anchor he was holding in his hand.
Yeah.
But Cliff's backside was actually on the side of the boat.
Yeah.
So all Woo had to do was turn slightly to that side and they were going over.
I still don't know how you flip that boat because it's got those things on both sides to keep it from flipping.
It was only on one side.
No, it was 2 sides because whenever they emptied all the water out.
Oh, it was 2-sided?
Yes. Okay. That's why I don't understand how it flipped. So anyway, so they
he's so adorable. He's so fun. We love him.
So then you get Tony and Cliff getting all the water out of the boat, and Tony's talking about everybody loves Cliff.
Right.
You know? And Sarah even says Cliff is the most it's like Cliff Love Fest. All right, how many do I have to eat?
That's 3 right there.
3, okay.
But even Lindsay says, oh, I like him so much. And I'm like, you're falling into a trap. Don't follow. I mean, I'm sure it's what we saw in the edit about how much she liked him and stuff. But this is where I'm like, Tony, don't go. Oh, Tony, don't go. Guy, don't go away from the game. Don't separate yourself from the tribe.
Right.
Don't make yourself a target or anything, because when it comes time, if you lose and it comes time to vote, they're not ready to get rid of Cliff yet because they like him being around camp. So they're going to say, all right, who's not hanging around with Cliff? Oh, that guy's not hanging around with Cliff. You know, don't separate yourself from that group. It's too small a tribe. The game is too small and confined right now to separate yourself in a 6-person tribe. You stand out way too big.
Yep.
So yeah, it was. I mean, it's funny. I see a lot of tweets about Cliff. People saying how glad they are to see him on Survivor. They loved him when he was in Detroit. They loved him when he was in Phoenix and Portland, and had so many nice things to say about him. And I'm like, he's a very well-liked person. He's one of those people that you just, once you start talking to him, you probably like him. He smiles a lot.
Right.
Very easy to talk to. So I can see where he'd be super liked. And I see Lindsay saying how nice he is, and then I see Hot Cop saying, well, that's not a guy I want to sit next to at the finals.
Right.
You know, that's a guy I need to get rid of.
That's what she's thinking.
Yeah.
Right.
That's exactly what she's thinking.
David, thank you for talking for that whole time while I tried to eat 3 donut holes.
That was a 3-donut sentence.
Yes. Now, how many do you have to eat right now?
2.
Okay, so here, thank you, Shayna. Shayna, I like having Shayna on here confirming all of this. So day 4, we go to beauty, and this is so great. This was almost weird looking. They're all standing around in a circle watching LJ chop a coconut.
No, it was not weird. It's what they do. They're models. They're beauties. They
were all just standing there.
And look pretty. It was hilarious. I love that shot.
It was awesome.
It went from Braun lifting the boat, where Cliff is lifting the back,
yes,
and Team TV is lifting the middle, and now let's go to beauty. And they're all just standing around.
I mean, literally just watching him. They're
Where's
not
the
even
camera?
acting like they're doing anything else.
Where's the camera?
Yes.
Find the camera. Yeah. And poor LJ, just trying. Are y'all waiting for me to do this coconut? I'm drinking this coconut, by the way. You better get your own coconut.
You put your blade in the coconut.
Come to find out, he wasn't opening the coconut to drink it. He was making coconut bowling balls.
What?
That's what Alexis was playing when she was bowling with coconuts.
Oh, see, I didn't see. I spend, since I can't type without looking at the keyboard, I spend half the episode looking at my keyboard. So I'm gonna watch the episode again for various reasons.
When Bryce was talking about Alexis and Jeffra, you know, flirting and being all cute and everything, one of the things LJ and Alexis were bowling on the beach with sticks and coconuts.
Oh, that's awesome! I can't wait to watch it again.
Yeah.
So. All right, so you got Bryce scoping out the group. He basically talks about all of them. And then you have Morgan saying, I have Jeremiah in my pocket. We didn't get a whole lot of Jeremiah this episode, come to think of it.
No, we didn't. But it was I really liked how it's weird. You're not sure which way to go, but I like that Bryce and Morgan were picking one at a time.
Right.
They weren't necessarily saying who's going for who, because we thought Jeremiah and Jeffra would bond. Of course, Jeremiah says that she and Alexis get on his nerves.
Right.
You know, we never saw that coming. And then Bryce and Morgan quickly close the trap and lure him in and say, we could be the brains of this tribe. We could be the three to control this.
Well, this is Bryce playing smart.
Yes, very much. And Morgan.
Yep, both of them. So, and I was kind of surprised they were saying Jeffra and Alexis get on their nerves. So,
yeah,
I don't know. Apparently, Alexis is a big flirt.
Apparently.
Yeah. Anyway, Braun, day 4. Trish, she was kind of being a little passive-aggressive, even a little aggressive-aggressive, you know. She and Sarah come back with wood, and she looks at Lindsay and goes, you know, there's wood out in the woods if you want to go get some.
Well, in real life, to me, that's normal. Because if I'm going to get wood and I'm bringing wood back for the second time and I see a person standing there looking at this pile of wood that I'm building and hasn't gone out once or moved once, if that's what happened, I'm not saying this would happen.
In the real world, yes.
In the real world, I'd say move yourself and go get some wood.
Move yourself.
So, I mean, I could see where she was coming from, but at the same time, just like we corrected Cass in her approach to Jatia,
yes.
Maybe Trish could have said, "Hey, can you help me get some more wood because there's some back here I can't carry."
Right.
You know, can you work together in this situation? Now, this is me saying these things, armchair quarterback. You know, hindsight, having the chance to say these things after thinking about it. You know, putting people on the spot is another thing altogether. But Lindsay didn't take too kindly to being called out by Trish, did she?
I loved her imitation of Trish.
Oh my! I wonder what Trish thought of her imitation.
Oh man, she probably thought, "Wow, That's very accurate.
But she's got Trish on the edge right now, man. Like you said earlier, she was pretty fired up. But she was smart to do it to the camera and not to Lindsay.
Actually, she was doing it to someone else.
With Tony. She was talking to Tony about it.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm talking about Lindsay was mocking Trish in front of someone else. Lindsay, if you're listening, yeah, you looked really good on day 4. I'm just saying. Looked really good on day 4.
Okay.
Really good on day 4.
Is she not an approachable, neat kind of person that you could feel like you could talk to and have a laugh with?
Oh, yeah, I could talk to her for a long time.
She's a very fun-looking person.
I talk a long time. Yes, I could talk for a long time. All right. No, yes, she is. She seems like she'd be quite fun to talk to. So anyway, why are you eating a donut? You didn't say anybody's name.
I said his name twice, but the
are we all caught up, Shayna?
I've got one more.
Does David have one more?
Yes, and you need to eat one.
What?
Yeah.
When?
You said Sarah.
I know, but don't you watch me eat them right after I say their names? I'm about to get sick to my stomach over here. But, how many donuts have I eaten so far, Shayna?
18.
Oh my God.
So this should be my 15th. Is this my 15th?
I have you at 13.
13?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Somebody must have hit this box in the kitchen then. But I think this is obviously part of the edit we're not seeing, where Lindsay has gotten on Trish's nerves or vice versa. Because all of a sudden, we've gone back to Braun for some reason, and we immediately get drama. Right. So this is more Survivor editing that we're not seeing the other side of this. So it's been building for a little while at least.
Yeah. So I was very disappointed to hear Team TV. I was very disappointed. I hope you're watching. That you said, "I've got your back, Trish." I thought, oh no, that's not the person's back you want to have.
No, because you're talking 2 against 4. You know, everybody likes Cliff. I'm like, hey, that's a sign. Everybody should like Cliff.
Okay, I can't wait to tweet tomorrow about the Spy Shack.
And the music. Did you like the music they put with it? That was great.
He's building a Spy Shack. You know what? If it works, great idea.
It's worked on other seasons. I mean, you've heard people eavesdropping on other seasons.
Yeah, but they didn't actually build a. They didn't actually build a Spy Shack.
No, he's thinking ahead. I'm telling you, Tony is playing game day by day by day by day, and I know that's number 14, but he is playing game, and I think right now, and that's what hurt David. And I keep, this is us, like I said, our Monday morning quarterback, but this is us seeing it, saying you got to play more of a team sport, as so long as even that you're winning, until you lose. You're on a team, and you got to play it as a team. Yes, you go find the idol. Yes, you go dig it out and you go look for it. That was awesome. But at the same time, you got to at least let them think you're part of the team. Don't make yourself so separate.
Well, he gave me another one of my favorite lines of the show. Whatever useless Cliff tells Weasel woo. That was great. All right, so we know Tony's main target is Cliff. Yes, another one going in my mouth. I am really getting tired of doing it.
I love what he said. He said he considers Cliff the lion of the pride, the leader of the pack. So what I've got to do is kill the lion, become the lion, and then I eat my cubs or eat his cubs. So I mean that's Survivor. I guess you got to take the leader out and then get rid of all the followers.
Yep. All right, let's get to the challenge. Day 6.
I should have brought 2 drinks. 1 drink is not going to be enough.
I don't even have a drink. This is really bad.
This water is so good.
Oh, let's see. I have a drink from last week when we talked to Andy. Does water go bad after a week?
Is there dust settling on the top of the water?
Hold on. Make sure there's no microorganisms living in it. Not that I could see them. All right, here I go. You ready? We're about to find out if this water's any good anymore.
Oh, you're still sitting up. That's a good sign.
I am. Let's get to the... Oh, that's gross.
It's got a heaviness to it, doesn't it?
It really has this weird aftertaste. Oh.
So glad it's not smell-o-vision.
Oh, my gosh. What the
All right.
heck?
As he was saying, day 6, the reward and immunity challenge.
Yes, and they now have their bathing suits. They probably got them on day 6 or day 5.
Yes.
So they got to swim for the cage, which is great. I mean, I'm just not going to go here too much, but you got to know how to swim. And Jatia did not know how to swim.
What I don't understand was why nobody reached back to pull her to the cage. They just looked at her like, come on, 6 feet, 5 feet, 4 feet.
I know why.
Why?
They didn't want her telling them how to do it.
Don't grab me there. Grab me here.
No, now you must paddle with your feet, with your toes pointed.
Y'all
if you're
were
going to
watching
pull
how
me,
I
do it
swam.
right.
You should have watched how I swam. That's
Yes.
how you do it. Nice and slow.
All right, so we'll get to that in a second. So they're going to go into the cage. They got to jump over and down into the cage, which is dangerous. You might fall on somebody.
Now, I love these aspects, and Survivor does it well because I do it with my soccer teams, that you can't move to stage 2 until everyone is on the mat, until everyone is at the cage. I love these stages that you got to everybody's got to be at the same level.
Right. Brains didn't like this at all. No. So then they got to get these really heavy fish traps from the bottom.
Wait,
What?
but before they do that, you have to lift your female partners and throw them into the cage.
Yes, on top of other people.
Heads up!
Yeah, don't even look below, you know. Somebody's coming up for air. Boom.
Tasha going, no! Let me do it! I felt so bad they went fly. Even Terry walked through going, oh my gosh! Are they throwing them in the water?
Are
Is
people
there
flying?
below? Bodies everywhere. Meanwhile, the Brawn and the Beauty are looking over going, are they throwing each other in the cage?
Yes.
We just climbed down.
Yes. Then they will get. I'm just telling about the challenge right now. And then we'll talk about how they did it. But so then they got to bring those things back, and then there's puzzle pieces in it, and only one person gets to do the puzzle.
Yes.
All right. First player that wins gets a large fish kit.
Mm-hmm.
Second tribe gets a smaller fish reward.
Very small.
And the third tribal gets to go to. I'm sorry. The third tribe gets to go to tribal council again.
And if you know anything about Survivor, you may want to go through these rewards because you never know what could be there.
That's right. We'll get to that in a minute.
Oh, yeah.
So Cliff and Bryce are sitting out. All right. Jatia is the slowest swimmer.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, Probst points that out.
Yes.
All right. Braun is the first to get everyone over. No surprise.
Mm-hmm.
Brains, though, were picking up time. And they ended up getting the fish traps out first.
Right.
We've already talked about bodies flying everywhere. And nobody broke. Hey, Scoopin', this is where you don't break your goggles.
They weren't diving. Well, I guess they were diving in a sense. They went feet first.
All right. So the brains get to the puzzle first, and Cass says, another great line, wow, we actually have a lead. And they had a huge lead.
Yes. Braun wasn't even out of the water yet.
And they are the brains. So shouldn't they, easily win this puzzle?
Well, it's like we said. I was saying all preseason that Braun and Beauty will probably get to the end first, and you were saying that the puzzle makes a difference. This is where the brains can catch everybody, is with the puzzle.
Yeah, well, apparently Jatia says I'm good at puzzles because she's the one doing the puzzle.
She is really brave to keep throwing herself out there and hoping that she doesn't go home.
Yeah.
Because I would certainly, after failing with the shelter and almost going home 2 nights before, I would not have volunteered for the puzzle.
No. So Beauty is really not doing well at all. They're like, now, what's the trick to moving these things? I think Morgan says, And the Braun tribe.
LJ says, there's no trick. Just move them.
Yes. He goes, you just float there and we'll do the rest.
We'll attach them to you and you take them to the shore.
Shayla got that a little late, but she got it. So Jatia is doing the puzzle. Sarah is doing the puzzle. And, oh my gosh, there's blood everywhere on the puzzle.
Oh, yeah.
She's bleeding everywhere.
Yeah, Tony had some underwater bleeding on his foot, and then she's got it on her hands.
Yeah, that was 2, by the way.
That was 1.
You said it twice.
No, I said it once.
No, you stuttered and said it twice.
Stutter doesn't count.
Yes, it does. You said his full name twice.
I'm about to go through the box in a minute.
Shayna, please rule on this.
She said 2. Just keep talking.
Oh, I'm sorry. Am I bothering you, David? Are you being annoyed?
Don't make me do impressions of you.
All right, so let's see. Braun just it's like, and another piece is in, and another piece is in. J'Tia doesn't even have one piece in, and another piece is in. I mean, it was just like humiliating for the Brain Tribe. Humiliating.
Oh, and Hot Cop let him have it. Are we supposed to be the Brains Tribe? You know, aren't they the Brains Tribe? Are they still working on their puzzle? I thought we were walking away with the reward. Are they still actually doing the puzzle?
Yeah. She actually said, laughing, I think I'm on the wrong tribe, Jeff. That was great. That was great. I mean, she wasn't mocking. She was playing with her friends. Shane is over there shaking her head like she shouldn't have said that. But she was joking around with her tribe mates, and no one else heard it.
Yeah, she was.
So,
I could hear.
And what is great is Beauty, who was, still practically climbing the cage when J'Tia was doing her first puzzle piece, comes back and beats her. It's crazy.
All with the triple threat that most everybody saw at the beginning of the season, LJ. I think I'm a puzzle wizard. I can do puzzles, and he proved it.
Okay, this is when I wrote, Garrett looks like he'd rather be at home. Actually, he looks like he'd rather be anywhere
Absolutely.
than on Survivor.
Absolutely. I mean, we were on a Garrett quit watch for
Yes.
almost the whole second half of the show.
I'm so glad he's not on my team. Although he might quit.
He might be on one of your teams. You didn't pick him at all?
No, I mean on our Survivor Fantasy
team challenge, yeah.
Yeah, on our team challenge between you and me. So, all right. I already talked about Hot Cop's look when she wins. Oh, did you see what she did when she won? It was just the coolest look. It was like I can't even explain it. It was just a cool look.
We just won? Really? I just won it for us? Really? We just won?
I don't think she was surprised though. I think she was kind of like.
It was kind of like a cocky smile. It was funny. It's like, yeah, we just came back and won. Yeah, of course we did.
And then LJ wins. All right. Here we go. Brains goes to tribal again. Aw.
We skipped.
What?
Braun Day 6.
I'm not at tribal yet. I'm just saying
sorry.
That they lost. So. And J'Tia says, I feel like I let my tribe down. I'm usually good with puzzles, but I failed. Yes, you did.
Usually good with two-piece puzzles because you got 2 pieces in.
Look, when I was in 3rd grade, I could knock a puzzle out of the park. I just don't understand this.
But this is one of those puzzles that you get 1 piece and the rest should start falling in line because you're just matching up sides after that.
Yeah.
But it's getting that first piece.
She couldn't even get the first piece. Hey,
she
wasn't
went through
this
every
whenever
piece.
Spencer was over on the edge going, you need to do the end pieces first? And J'Tia's looking at him like, there are no end pieces. All right, Braun, day 6. Hot Cop says, blood, sweat, and tears. That's right, we're bleeding. That's how you win this game.
That's how you play.
That's right. Okay, here you go. Tony looks in the basket for the idol clue. He says to the camera, first thing I did whenever we got that reward was I went looking for the idol clue. And guess what, Shayna? He found it.
Yes, he
Found
did.
the idol clue.
I like this little bit of, I don't know if it was acting or not, but if you're going to get caught looking for the clue, dump some things out. Move things around like you're inspecting, like you're looking at stuff. Wow, did y'all see this? If anybody comes over to catch you, nobody really noticed, I guess, that we saw or came over, and sure enough, he pulls that little piece of paper and says, hey, this is what it looks like.
Yeah, someone walks up to him and goes, look, did you know this box has a little clasp on it? Isn't that cool? I was just over here admiring the clasp.
I wonder if we can take this home when the show's over.
Yes. So, and what does he start doing? He immediately goes and looks for it. Right?
Now, was there somebody with a donut running the other way and he was chasing him? Because he was booking through those trees.
He was going fast, man.
The cameraman said, wait a minute. If you're going to run that fast, let me get down the road, and then you run at me.
You know what I bet he was doing? I bet that they had taken a couple people, maybe like 1 or 2 people off for confessionals, and the other people were like going to the bathroom or something. So it gave, or just sitting around talking, so it gave him a chance to run off.
But I loved his deduction that right away, and to me this is his training, in that he's very observant. He's making a mental map of everything, where everything is. And as soon as he read the clue, he goes, I know exactly where this is.
Yes,
this is in the lake over there. I thought that was awesome.
And then we get a picture of him in the pond. He's either having a bowel movement or finding the idol.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Ooh.
Here we go. Here we go.
Maybe. Oh, yeah. Oh, the idol.
Here we go.
I was like, man, what'd you do? Give birth to the idol? What's
Don't
going on
worry.
here, Tony? What's going on? One. Thank you, Shayna. I was hoping it wasn't two.
That's good. I like that. He birthed an idol. Underwater. That's an underwater birth. There you go.
I'm going to ask him about that tomorrow. It's like, man, you were having way too much fun next to that. Shayna's giving me a bad look. This is like having my wife on the podcast with me. This is
She's shaking her head at you.
Oh,
But
man.
hey, give him credit. He found it. And I'm impressed that he kept it under control. I'm the king of the jungle. You know, instead of declaring it to all the trees and everything else around, he kept it under control. That's a big idol, though, man. It's a good thing he's got them long shorts on.
I know.
He's got to hide that idol.
Tyson could not have hid that idol.
No.
And if Morgan finds it, forget it. I mean, there ain't no hiding that idol. It's probably at least 3 or 4 inches wide, circle.
Yeah.
It's not that big.
I think that I like that because it kind of makes them work to hide it. You can't just, it's not a little stick figure that you can hide in any pocket or anything. It's a big idol.
It's a little bit bigger than the piece that goes on top of the rod in Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Ah.
That is the idol piece. Little did Harrison Ford know he had a clue to the hidden immunity idol.
He could have forgotten those Germans and just gone straight for the game.
He could have went to that pond and
He just wanted the Ark of the Covenant, you know.
and groaned and ended up with an idol. That's the best part of the whole show. I mean, they literally stay on him for like 30 seconds groaning.
He was having idol pains.
He's like,
trying to pull
oh
it
yeah.
down.
He's like, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, he did. He swum around and said, oh, here it is. Here it is. Here it comes.
Okay, we gotta move on.
Day 6 with the brains. Let's go to the brains tribe.
Okay.
Maybe we can avoid any more donuts.
So Garrett, man, this is, look, you don't want to play Survivor, but this is not how you don't play Survivor.
Right.
Or maybe it's exactly how you don't play Survivor. But he's like, it's clear Jatia is the best option to go home. Instead of, let's just tell everybody, Shayna, this is what he does. Everybody stays at the camp, and he tells nobody to leave. We're going to talk about
browbeats him, yeah, I understand.
Yeah. This is who's going home. Now, no one's allowed to go anywhere and talk to anybody. And Tasha's like, that's not how you play Survivor. I want to go talk to you, and I want to go talk to you. And he's like, well, no, we all need to stay here at the camp.
Yeah, she basically said, I want to talk to everybody but Kaz about what I want to do instead of voting off my alliance mate, Jatia. You know, but this is the worst bleep Survivor strategy play I've ever seen. And if you don't want to play, quit.
Yes, I love that line. If
And
you don't want to play, Garrett, quit.
The look in his eye was like,
No,
I could get up and just walk away right now.
That's right.
You guys would have all your ice. You know, you'd be okay. I'd leave you in good hands. And
Right.
But I
love what
love
she
that.
said.
I love she called him out on it.
And she's like, this is Survivor, and we're not playing it. You are taking away from me something I was looking forward to doing. I mean, this is what she was saying. I was looking forward to this. This is strategizing. We're supposed to be able to do this, and you're ruining it for me.
They've been doing it for 27 seasons, and now you want to stop playing it.
Right.
You
This
know?
isn't season, 1 where people think alliances are taboo.
Right.
Going off and having side conversations is taboo to Garrett. You know
Yes,
why?
exactly.
Because Garrett just wants to sit around and not have to think about anything.
Right. He wants to play his way by himself.
I mean, I wish I could say this was Garrett playing smart or this is a strategy, but I don't think it is. I really think it's just him lazy, not wanting to play the game. He's not having fun with the game anymore. It's not what he wanted to do, and so there may be some people out there who say Garrett was using this as a strategy, and I'm just not buying it.
Well, it was his strategy, but it was I don't know what kind of strategy to call it. It was a bullying strategy, is what it was.
No, it was
he's keeping them all there. We all need to just stay here under the shelter for the next 12 hours until we go to tribal council.
Yeah.
Nobody moves. Nobody leaves. We're done. We're settled.
Yeah.
I don't want to think about anything else. Let's just leave it at this. Everybody's fine.
Yeah.
I can leave my idol here. We don't have to worry about it. Yeah.
Yeah. No bathroom breaks. All right. So we do get. Well, anyway, so then we get a commercial, and then we come back, and they're still sitting at camp. And Tasha's talking again, can't even strategize, and Spencer gets a confessional. So apparently Garrett let them go off for confessionals.
Right.
And Spencer says, Garrett, you are an idiot. Now we have to babysit the girls. All right. And then we get Tasha goes down to the ocean to wash her feet off, and Cass goes down with her.
Right.
Now, this was where some smart talking goes on. Tasha starts to talk to Cass. We can flip this game right now. You know?
Yeah, I was telling Gracie, I said something's going to happen. I said, Jatia's going to get a chance to flip something. She goes, why you say that? Because it's probably pretty set. I said, honey, there's 30 minutes left in the episode. Yeah. They're not going to have a 30-minute tribal council to get rid of the person that lost the challenge for them.
Well, I wasn't looking at how much time was left, but
I was, because I was watching it live at the time.
Yeah, if you're watching it live, it's easier to do that.
And it's like, oh, there's something that's going to happen here. And finally, when they were talking at the beach, I said, all right, let's get a little strategy talk.
Well, I don't know what Garrett and Spencer were eating, but it looked disgusting.
And it was funny how they were suddenly right there.
Yeah,
right
and it's like,
oh, we're here.
Okay, well, we can't let Cass and Tasha down there talking because Tasha's playing the game. So let's leave crazy Jatia. And now, Jatia admits, crazy Jatia, she admits it, that she's crazy. You know?
Yeah.
And they leave her there. And they go down there, and they're like, okay, you're not supposed to be having strategy talk.
I was waiting to see a hashtag shelter arrest. You know, instead of being on a house arrest, she was on a shelter arrest. She was not. I felt bad. She was not allowed to leave.
Yes. So what happens whenever everybody's gone?
Who's watching Jatia?
Yeah.
Somebody's. Well, Spencer's here. I don't know who's watching.
And they don't have an extra bag of rice. They have one bag of rice, and now that whole bag of rice,
98% of
dumped over the fire.
Yep.
Jatia gets up and dumps the rice on the fire and then goes and sits down. And when they come back, who did this? I don't know. Cass goes, was it the rice fairies?
I don't know. Just walked through the camp. I don't know.
And I like what Cass said. And to be honest with you, I was thinking to myself, Jatia, you just burned your last bridge. Because Cass and Tasha wanted to get with you and get off one of the guys.
Right.
And you just lost that chance. And Cass even says that. I was going to approach Jatia about turning this all around. You know? So, but Cass, I guess when you end it all up, Garrett was worse than keeping Jatia around. I don't think Jatia would do anything crazy like that as long as, you know, she doesn't think she's going home.
As long as she knows she's safe.
Oh, my gosh. So, and then, of course, Garrett. This just brings me to a new rock bottom. I didn't think he could get any lower. But he did. Tribal Council. By the way, well, anyway, we'll talk about that in a minute. I wrote, no way Jatia survives this. I mean, she dumped rice, for crying out loud.
Mm-hmm.
You know? There's no way she survives this. But as I was watching Garrett bury himself, this entire Tribal Council, I began to think, there is no way Garrett survives this.
Well, my thought was, why don't we just save the 50 minutes of watching the episode and let Garrett tell us everything at Tribal Council as to what's going on?
Yeah.
He's basically saying everything. And I'm sorry, but this is a recruit at his worst. You don't repeat everything that you're doing and then go by the numbers and call out different people.
Yes. So Tasha went into Tribal Council thinking she was part of his alliance.
Right.
And then he says, no, we have an alliance of 3. It's me and Cass and Spencer. And Tasha goes, oh, so I'm not part of the alliance anymore? And Garrett looks at her like, uh-oh.
Answer. Oh. Yes, you're in the alliance.
Goes, no, we're all 4 equals. All 4 equals.
And Cass is going, who am I hooking my wagon to?
Yes.
Wait a minute. So this is when I was waiting for you, there's a lot of comments on Facebook and Twitter about how do you let a rice burner, somebody that dumps the rice on the fire, how do you let them stay in the game? And I'm thinking, you know what? When it comes down to, for Tasha, I think she's the one that made the swing and got cast to, in that you go with somebody that you know. She knows Jatia because she's been talking to her for 6 days, and even though she did that out of frustration, Tasha, I think, understands it because of the way Garrett treated them.
Well,
and how do you keep somebody like Garrett who won't let them play?
Okay, it's also a numbers thing, though. Cass and Tasha with Jatia are 1 and 2. Cass and Tasha with Garrett and Spencer are 3 and 4.
Absolutely.
So the obvious choice is to get rid of Garrett.
Right. And the next obvious choice would be to get rid of Spencer, because it's if they don't merge soon or shuffle soon after losing 2 of their players, if they lose another player, they're going to be merging or shuffling. And they need at least people they trust, which is these 3 people. Because now Spencer's the one that's on the outs. You know, he's the odd one now.
Right. So let's see. Tribal Council. Gosh, do we even need to go through all this?
No.
Spencer, open forum discussions are not usually done on Survivor. Tasha, I wanted to talk with people, but I wasn't allowed. Jatia, why does Garrett get to call all the shots? So I threw the rice in the fire, to which Probst goes, what?
Yeah, 98% of the rice is gone.
Yeah. And then Tasha's like, that's why I wanted to talk to her. And anyway, Cass talks about them being paranoid. Anyway, I love what Tasha says. My game is being stifled right now. We can't play Survivor, and that's what we came out here for.
And that's when I thought, okay, they're just going to send home Garrett, because Cass is the same way. Cass wanted to talk. She wanted to consider flipping and get rid of somebody that just wasn't playing the game smartly. So
I got to say, even if Garrett had not totally been bumfuzzled at Tribal Council and played completely wrong at Tribal Council, he was still going home, because Cass and Tasha know the numbers. They are smart. And they knew to keep Jatia is better than to stay with Garrett and Spencer. So
it's playing with who you trust, like Spencer said. And I think they trusted each other more than they trusted Garrett. Right. Obviously, because of the numbers, like you just said a minute ago. It's the numbers.
That's right. So let's get to the vote.
Okay.
I like what Spencer says. Jatia, you are scary. Genuinely, genuinely scary.
I like what David said when he voted for in the first Tribal Council. I would hire you back at home.
Yes.
But not for this
maybe
game.
Not after watching this part of the episode. So Jatia gets 2 votes, and that's from Garrett and Spencer, who were both very much so blindsided. And then it's Garrett, 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 and I yelled yes at the top of my lungs. I was so happy.
I was too, because as a Survivor fan and somebody who'd love to play the game someday, I get so frustrated at people that don't want to play the game.
Yes, I'm so glad he's not there.
So, and then
I'm not having fun playing Survivor. Hello.
Exactly. Even David said it was one of the best experiences. He's a very lucky person to get a chance to do this. And this was Garrett said in his confessional at the end that he'd left the idol back at camp.
Yes, he left the idol at camp. So
I'm sorry. That's almost as dumb as bringing it and giving it away.
Yeah, somebody's going to find it.
Okay.
Now the idol clue's going to say, remember that guy who wasn't having any fun? Go look in his shoes.
You know who's going to find it? Jatia.
Yeah, she'll find it.
The person that survived 2 tribal councils that was going to send her home until other people messed up, and she's going to find it. I bet you.
You know what's happening? The story's playing out. She's going to be like Final 3 or something. That's what's going to happen.
She's going to be the Denise. She'll go to every tribal council and she'll survive each one.
I don't think Denise would appreciate that.
Just every tribal council. How about that?
All right. Blindside, awesome. It was amazing and awesome. Yep. Now, you say Spencer's line, and I will say Cass's line. This is favorite part of the whole show.
Uh-oh.
Remember what Spencer says? Okay,
I don't write too much at the end.
I'll do both of it. Who wants to welcome me to the bottom? And Cass says, it's not so bad. I love it. I love it. Mike K is just now getting on YouTube, and he's upset because we started already.
That's because did you post on Facebook and Twitter that you were starting?
Of course not. But what time? I mean, no, I didn't. But what time is it?
I told him we would.
Well, that's your fault.
12:30 my time.
12:30. We started almost 2 hours ago.
Hour and 40 minutes ago.
I wasn't that far behind. Sorry, Mike.
No, I'm sorry, because I said we'd post it on Twitter and Facebook.
All right, sorry. So let's see. Next time, Tony looking for an ally.
I wonder why.
Yeah, finally starts. I've been a cop for 13 years. As we sit here in the rain. All right. Excellent show. Excellent show. Shayna, did you enjoy not seeing the show but listening to it recap? Do you feel like you know what happened?
I do. You know, it was so much fun this way because now I'm even more excited to watch it. And it sounded like a lot of fireworks, and I just completely didn't see what went down.
Yes.
Didn't think that would happen that way. And Jatir reminds me of Nyanka when she buried the flower and ate the fruit, and then she got caught and she got to stay and then quit.
Yes. Oh, good point.
That's a good point. I don't think Shatia's quitting though.
No, I don't either.
I think she sees something. Now, this is what I asked. Instead of doing stock up, stock down for this first episode.
Oh, I didn't even put that in our.
I know. I noticed you didn't. So that's why I came up with this. Just look at your tribe pictures real quick. And is there anybody on each of the tribes who you have a higher opinion of game wise than you did before we started the season?
That sounds like a stock up, stock down question to me.
No, I'm not doing down. I'm just saying up. Who impressed you in these 2 hours? For the Beauty tribe, it was Bryce and Morgan.
Bryce. Well, you said only pick one, but if I could pick two, I'd say Bryce and Morgan.
I said who.
Oh, okay, Bryce and Morgan for sure.
Definitely Bryce and Morgan. What about the Braun tribe?
Braun tribe. Hold on. Cliff surprised me.
Yeah, that's true.
The fact that he got everybody to like him.
His likability, yeah.
And Sarah didn't surprise me, so no one really surprised me.
Yeah, we already had her kind of high, and she kind of lived up to it, I thought.
Yeah, nobody surprised me. Although Tony, way to go, man, finding the idol.
Exactly. And for the brains, I like Tasha, just because she came out at the end. That's 2, by the way. But I like how she came out at the end and was playing Survivor. Yeah, because you said the other girl, you said the hot cop first.
She says 3.
I like that, too.
Oh. I'm running out of donuts.
Jatia didn't surprise me, but she just survived, and I give her credit for that, and whether it was all her doing or not. But I really like Tasha. I like her more than I did from the beginning.
Yeah.
And Cass. Cass is a survivor. You know, she's on the weaker tribe. She's on the losing tribe, but she survived each tribal council and came out in a good position.
Okay, so Spencer did better than I thought he would.
I like Spencer a lot more than I thought he would.
I didn't think he was going to. If you recall, and Spencer, if you're listening, I said I don't think Spencer was going to be able to keep his mouth shut, but he did.
Smartly.
Spencer played very well. Very much so surprised me. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say he kept himself in the numbers until the girls flopped at the end, which I understood why they did. And I think eventually if they could win a challenge, he will like that as well. But he was much more likable than I thought he would be coming from his interviews. I really liked the way he played, the way he talked.
Tasha didn't surprise me. She's my pick to win it all.
Yeah.
So she didn't surprise me, but I sure enjoyed watching her play.
Yes.
I loved how passionate she got. You know, look,
we want to see fans. Yes, we want to see super
I want to
fans
play the game. I don't want to sit here at camp and watch you guys eat palm frond nuts or whatever.
Yeah.
And then Cass, I can't say Cass did better than I thought she would because she did some things that I don't think were very good or very well.
Yeah.
But they were kind of evened out because I also thought she did other things. Like she made the smart move at the end. Her and Tasha made the smart move at the end.
Well, I give her credit too because a lot of people, including myself, thought she'd get picked off early as being the oldest female because we thought, a lot of people thought the Brains tribe would not do that well, and she survived 2 votes and put herself in a good position at the end.
Yep. All right. Anything else you want to say? There aren't too many YouTube comments to mention to talk about.
I really enjoyed it. Thought it was a really, really good premiere. I'm even more excited now about these people because now we know them a little bit better. Some people stood out. Some people didn't stand out as much, but it's the first episode. We're not going to get every confessional. We're not going to meet everybody, but we did get a glimpse of everybody to that degree. A little bit of how they're going to play.
But who do we get very little of? So we got let's see, we got the least from Wu.
Right.
Wouldn't you say?
Right. He knows who Cliff was. He called Cliff out and they went fishing.
Right. So we got the least from Wu. We got Lindsay and Trish about the same. Although I enjoyed seeing Lindsay more than I did seeing Trish.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
But I'd say we got quite a bit from Trish, especially with her getting upset. And Lindsay, we got a lot. We got more from them than we did from Jeffra and Alexis.
Yeah, we didn't get a whole lot from Jeffra and Alexis, which makes me think Jeffra and Alexis and those were going to be here for a little while.
Uh-huh.
You know?
We
didn't get a lot from Jeremiah. We got like one thing from Jeremiah, and that was him just goo-goo-eyeing over Morgan.
And, well, I got him talking to Bryce and Morgan. Yeah, that was the main thing we got from them.
Yeah.
Jeffra, I think most of what we got was confessionals, if that, like 1 or 2 confessionals.
Yeah.
Not a lot from the Beauty Tribe.
This is going to be a good season. Now, I am afraid that somebody, here's what somebody, I don't remember who said this. I was reading an article, and they were like, to say somebody doesn't deserve to win. I was listening. I was listening to, what's his name? He won the first, Richard Hatch. I was listening to him on that podcast. Dom and Colin. And I agree with him. If you win Survivor, then you deserve to win it.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't care if you rode someone's coattail the whole way. That's how you won it. You deserve to win it. But I think whoever's going to win, I think we may not be as excited about winning. I don't know why, I'm just getting that gut feeling. So just the way things are playing out already.
Okay.
But anyway, all right, so hey, we want to know what you think about the first episode of Survivor, and we want to leave us feedback. There's 2 ways to do it. You can email us, feedback@survivortalkwithdnd.com. There's a link. Just go to survivortalkwithdnd.com/feedback, and that's all the different ways. But actually, on our webpage, in this post that has this video and has the audio and everything in it, there's a button right there. You push that button, and you can leave a voicemail for us right there on your computer. You can listen to it, see if you like it, whatever. It's 5-minute limit, and it'll cut you off after 5 minutes. So, but anyway, we want to hear what you think. The deadline for feedback is Sunday night at 7 p.m. Eastern time. David, what time do you want to do the show? Like 9:30?
I'd say we'll aim for 9:30 Eastern time. All
right, 9:30 Eastern time is when we'll do it. Will we have a special guest? I don't know. We might. We might not.
Who knows?
We do have several lined up for the season, but we don't know when we're going to have them. So that's how you get on our feedback show, David. Why don't you tell them about Twitter and stuff?
You can follow us on Twitter on @Dwaine tweets for the show, which is @Survivor_talk. And you can follow me at my new Twitter handle, which is Survivor Only, which is @David_STWDD. And like we mentioned before, if you want a link to all the good blogs, all the good recaps, all the good rankings, all the good stuff, come to our Facebook page, join our Facebook page, and we'll just continue. And all of our friends on Facebook will post it as well.
Yeah.
If we don't get to it, they'll get to it. We got great people that keep up with everything.
Yeah. We post Rob's stuff. We post Gordon's stuff. We post Dalton's stuff. If it gets posted out there, somebody in our Facebook group puts the link to it out there.
Yeah. It saves traffic on the internet. Just go to our one Facebook page. You'll find everything.
Yes. So hit the website for our own blogs. We have 2 guest bloggers, our very own Shayna, and after she watches the episode, unless you want to write your blog based on the feedback show, on the recap show. No, you don't want to do that. So Shayna is going to be writing a blog. Also, Shayna will be taking our point system for the D&D Survivor Fantasy Challenge that hopefully you got a friend to play with you. Mm-hmm. And David and I are competing. We have our teams, Team David and Team Dwaine, and she's going to take that scoring system this weekend before Sunday, and we will let you know on Sunday how many points each player got. All right? And so you can, no work on your part. You can just write down how many points each player got, and you and your friend can determine who's winning in your fantasy competition. Okay. Also, we have links to our fantasy pool, which is done by Fun Office Pools on our website. Mm-hmm. And shop Amazon while you're there. Click on one of those links. So, any final words, David?
I'm going to down 2 more. One for Tony finding the idol. I was very impressed. Yes. And one for Sarah being the dominating puzzle queen. Yes. I thought she did awesome. So these 2, and for talking to us on Twitter today, that was a lot of fun. We really appreciate you taking out of your time. She even wrote when I posted that who was going to capitalize if one of the cops wins, was it going to be Krispy Kreme or Dunkin' Donuts? And she said, no kidding, as I'm writing this tweet, replying to my tweet, she's eating a donut. And then she sent a picture of the donuts. So that was so cool.
I saw that. That was great. So my full box, I had 4 dozen donut holes that I bought at lunch, and there are 4 left. But how many did I eat tonight, Shayna? How many was the total?
You ate 25.
I had 25 donuts holes tonight.
And stale water. And stale water.
And stale water. It was pretty gross. So I said their names 25 times. David, how many donuts did he have to eat, Shayna?
He wasn't too far behind. He had to eat 18.
18? See, that means I like them more than you, David. I am more committed to this podcast and to the
I was
players.
more aware of Hot Top and Team TV.
Yeah, see, you kind of took some of the fun out of it, man. Just say their names.
I still said it 18 times. That was enough. Plus it's 12:44 and I have to get up in several hours to go to work.
Gosh, yes, it's late. 11:45 for me. Goodness gracious, it's a 2-hour podcast tonight. All right, well, let's get this over with. Music for tonight's show is Giving You All Control by Jeremy Camp. We want to thank you for listening. Tune in on Sunday night. Also, tell your friends about us. Subscribe in iTunes. Leave us a 5-star rating and leave us a good review. We're at like 86 reviews. It'd be awesome to have 100. So see you, everybody.
See ya.
Bye, Shayna.